can click that, go to the Worldviews website. You can talk to
Yeah.
Ken Tiffany, and also you can find her $1
Oh,
deposit.
Jesus.
But we had 30
Didn't
people
realize.
go from this channel last year, and they
Hello
really
out there.
enjoyed themselves. And this is a 12-day
Hoping that
trip.
this is just my personal stream that I made uh, for you buyers that say hey, hello, and just say hi, how you doing out there? And this is something that I decided to make a video on because I'm starting to see a lot of patterns in this year of 2020. Um, and the reason why I titled this is because what's going on lately in the news and what's going on social media, and it's really, it's really an eye opener in the year 2020 that justice is supposed to be equal when a man is proven innocent. And unfortunately, you have people out there in this world that, there's a justice for them and there's a justice for us. And even though that there's sometimes when it comes to the American justice system, is not always what it cracked up to be. Uh, even if you come to find out, even if you are innocent, you still can be found guilty in some form or fashion. And even though it can apply to whatever origin of men or race or origin of men, it can always show a different point of view when you're the wrong ethnic type of man that's in America. Unfortunately, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much status you have, no matter what background you come from, there is people. When you do something wrong, some people have a deep agenda of being very, very angry. And some people understand, some people really do see color. And and even though they try to deny that they don't see color, but they really do see, because it comes out in a different action, in a different format. Um, what made me make this video in light of the situation you hearing with the situation that's been a while back. It's on every media, social media, and YouTube land, and with Facebook and Twitter, and it's dealing with Kobe Bryant, and he was a brilliant young man that accomplished the things and did the things that he's supposed to do, and you know and just was real phenomenal. Just outright good dude. That the world loved, and it's really sad that you have a society that, and this is a pattern with the why I picked this subject with black men that it's been happening to. It seems like that no matter the fame, the fortune, and the world find your unique ability, this someone's coming either on the same side that look like you, on the opposite side that look opposite of you, is coming to tear down what you honestly built up. And it's the same. This was the case with Kobe Bryant. He was really, even after all the things that he accomplished, and he done it honestly, he made, sometimes we all have things that we make an error in life, and sometimes we all been there, but it shouldn't be held accountable to somebody who is no longer here. And it's sad that this young woman, that even though she had things that had, like most people have a motive, the to want to meet a celebrity and get to know somebody, but to use somebody in a way to try and score points or make a legacy with yourself is pretty despicable. And there's been proof that this man never raped this woman. He never raped it. I mean, the prosecution, the paperwork, and everything proved that he didn't rape this woman. And it should. And what Kobe Bryant what this represent to the young men out there, young black men out there in 2020, is that you have to be very careful who you associate with. And if you are famous, and if you're athletic and you're very good looking, you got all these different avenues, be careful, because you have people out here that, you know, they're jealous at you, but you have a system that technically want to set people up to make them look like they're the bad guy. They already don't like you because it's something that you're good and you're gifted at. But some people to use an agenda in which another person who is not a non-black man can do the same thing, and he don't have to pay the price. He can get caught, and the news will stay in it for a certain amount of time, and then he gets to go free. And even though no matter what the person it come out to be, if the person turned out to do wrong, what is wrong is what's wrong. And what is sad is that someone that destroys someone's reputation after they didn't prove it that they didn't do it, and for someone to deep down to look at a black male and still think that there's some hidden agenda that he did do, he's being covered up, or some government or some agency or some individual will cover him up, is asinine. And that's what it comes down to. Some people are jealous of an ability of these young men that done something great. And it's just, I think it's just sending a message to other young black men or other men in general, whether you're single, whether you're married. And even though even when you're going out there and you're dating women and meeting other different women, and I'll get that later. But meeting other different women, you have to be very careful. And that's all phases and sectors of women. You have to be very careful because you just never know. You know, and I believe that, and it also proved that in the case with Kobe, that this woman was bragging about what she did with her friends. Now here's a tripped out part about the whole situation. Now, in America, even though we in the year 2020, and I know people always say this, but there are some people in America, in particularly in America, who still find deep down, they don't admit it, but they see race. They deep down, they don't want to admit that they do, but they really see race with this problem. And when you talk about the subject of race, people get really mad. It gets super sensitive and things like that. But it really does. And a lot of these young women, young women that know this, young men and young women, they know this. And I believe that, and it could be in a family where she may not have encountered too many black men in that part of Colorado where she was from. And so she become a so-called groupie. And maybe, and I'm just guessing, and this could be a case because some people do this. Some young women do this because they never really been around black people. You got some people that never been around black people. So, and their family probably told them that if you bring a black person home, you're gonna be cut off. You're disgusting. You're foul, and everything else. And so, what some women, young women would do? Some of these young women who come from families and friends like what they do, they rebel and go out with just despite what their father, their uncles, their sons say don't, and their friends say don't do it because you're gonna be ostracized. And this is the truth. This is God, and I believe that. And by Kobe Bryant being an athlete, that just scored points with the stereotype about she got with this ball player, and that's probably one of the situations was. And Kobe wasn't the kind of person. He was a pretty smart dude. If he would have seen this coming, but like most men, when a woman's being flirtatious and being nice, we all men, all walks of life, and when some women can catch you off guard, just be flirtatious and be nice and everything, and it'd be so exciting, and it sound like that, and it's just that some men don't have the willpower to say, "No, that's not cool. I'm faithful. I already have a wife," and some women are just bold with it. Some women are just bold, regardless of race, color, creed, too. They're just bold. They'll be persistent, and then when they don't get what they want, then they go. Then that's when they crowd foul, and then they put on crocodile tears, whatever, because they can't get what they want. And then you find out later on that this person was innocent, but now it's too much. It's all the damage has already been done. You have done a different damage to the reputation. And this should go to the younger black men. If you're an athlete and you're famous and you got money, you have to be careful, bro. If you're going into the NFL or NBA, because there was this incident recently here in Columbus, Ohio, that in Columbus, Ohio, bring out some of the good best athletes, and these young athletes got caught up in having consensual sex with the female. And when the female said no and they persistent, it turned into a date rape and everything. It turned out to be a date rape. Now these guys, they ruined their careers and everything over just trying to talk, trying to have sex with the woman who consensually had sex because with these men. And this happened before here in Columbus, Ohio, where it was an athlete. He's played for the Dallas Cowboys. It was Ezekiel Elliott that this a situation happened to him that almost cost him his career. Some women, he got to it with some woman young, and she was a white female, unfortunately. But this female said to him, like, I'm, and she literally said it. I'm a female. Who you think they got to an argument? And she said this to him. Who you they gonna believe, you or me? Because I'm a white female. And that was a wake up call, because it almost he managed to get up out of it, because they proved, and it was other people to back it up and feel like, no, this chick is crazy. And it was other people that confirmed this, but it almost cost him his career and everything. So if any young black male, your father or mother, you need to sit down and teach him this what it is. And right now, they'll do anything. Anybody that reach to a certain height and success, you really have to be careful, because even though that you have the same counterpart with an athlete, can be of a different nationality, and he do something, yeah, he's going to pay the price. But it seemed like when it comes to black men, it's like they have to really make an example out of the black men. And this is go back historically, and I can understand why some black people feel like, hey, we really don't want you with that, and with that kind. When it comes to, I'm sorry, with relationships, because they fear that this is going to happen. And especially when you're a single man and single women, when we party in the club and out and enjoying school and dancing and everything. But when it comes to an incident, America sees black and white. It does right away, just like that. And it's just, and tensions get all high up, and this ancient spirit that's been in the land has stirred things really to a whole different level. and it's really messed up. But you see it, and it happened to him, and then it happened to another running back out of Ohio State. That it was a situation where he got into the argument with a female, and this is, again, was a black athlete. He was and she was a white female. Something happened. He slapped the girl. He slapped the dude and punched the dude, and he almost got charged. Luckily, he got up. He got up out of it, but it was a situation. And these athletes, man, whether they're white or they're black, but especially if they're black, you got to really think about it. And then and you well known on the college campuses, whatever, or in the NFL, they really had to do some self-inventory, man, because we live in America that's supposed to be so-called post-racial, but the justice system ain't post-racial. And the judges who have, and you don't never know what is the lawyer, the police officer, or the judges. And I'm sorry to say this, some white males are biased. Let's put up their bias and they're jealous as hell, because and let me explain to you why do I say that? Because when it comes to, if any man that does a crime, rape, molestation, he should do the time, and whatever that time the crime is said. But don't disparage the same type of crime, and just because it's two different kind of men, just because of the color of their skin, you should punish them equally the same if they do a crime. But you have judges, lawyers, and other people would drum something up in towns and cities across this country, all the way, and it takes the justice system to kind of break that down, because some town, somebody gives somebody a longer sentence. And so it's really is an eye opener that you can't, as a black man, you can't do with everything you do in America, opposed to your classmate who is Caucasian. Maybe you might do the same kind of crime, but the time is going to depends on the punishment and everything. And that's a fact. The system, this don't work. And so, and then the second thing about it, it's in this Western nation like the United States and America and a few other places, you got almost have to walk on eggshells, just because if you say something politically wrong at the wrong type of woman, she could say that you harass her. She could say that you just you manipulated her or whatever. That you try. You see what's going on. It's like, yeah, they got this anti-hate male mentality right now, and it's like it could have been, and it's really sad, because it's innocent women that have been molested and raped, and then you got these other women who don't get their way, and they get raped and molested, and they put someone else in jail or in prison because of something that they just because psychologically they can't handle being rejected, or they just want to get some attention. So you really have to be careful what type of woman you get with, and it could be a black woman too. But I'm just saying, some women, you just have to be wise. If you're a single man, if you're a married man, stay married, bro. If you got a single girl, stay with her, man, because at least you know how she is. But with these other women that look fine and gorgeous, and they come out with the, propped up with their breasts up and they butt out, but they know how to swing and swab it. Believe me. And then you don't know the history of this woman. You don't know that she set up two or three dudes, whatever. One doing time, one could be doing, one is in the grave or something like that. And it's really serious. I mean, you really have to be careful as a man. And it's just a stick with one woman, and because it used to be a time that it was with some women, it wasn't like that. You can get away with it as a man, going with two or three different women. But these days, in the United States of America, I would suggest, or in the West, or anywhere, but especially here, you better not do something like that here, because you don't know how that second, third woman does. And now you done made promises to her. Now she come back and say that you abused her, or you raped her, or you knock her across the head some foul stuff like that, and you could be not that type of dude that is not possessive like that. You don't hit a woman, you don't beat on her, you wouldn't rape or violate a woman. But you gotta understand, there's some women just as crazy that will do something like that just to get some attention. And I can recall a story one time that I knew I had a friend of mine back in my old town up near Youngstown, Ohio, that he was married to this woman, and she's a black woman, but she was the kind of woman that she set her ex-husband up before, and one of my partners, my friends, ended up marrying this chick, and one time, and they would go back and forth and get into an argument and everything, and she accused him, and she had two kids, a boy and a girl, and she accused him of touching the girl and went down to the police at the time. To come to find out that later on, before that, the case is going forward, and it was some other stuff that was going on at the time. But she lied and said that the neighbor tried to make a move on her, and some other stuff. This is what some women do. Some women are scandalous, man. I'm telling you. You have to when you date, just like they tell women to watch out for men. Men need to watch out for these type of women that are out here, and because there's something wrong with them. I mean, some of them you just don't know, and they look perfect. I mean, they could be college educated. They could look like that. You just don't know where her head is at. You really don't. And just in her case with my friend, he ended up going to prison for almost 10 years on the false allegation. And and how I found out he was innocent, his mother told me right before she died that he never laid a hand on her, he never touched her. But the police put out a false confession that he touched her. And now he's stuck with a criminal record. And it was proven by the DA and everything that he didn't touch it. And that's why I say you have to be careful what type of women you're dealing with out here. And if you married and you're single, sometimes if you got a good woman that is not like that, keep her, man. Because the next woman you might meet might be a nutball. You really keep her. If you got a steady woman, a steady wife, you married men, be blessed, man. If you got a steady girlfriend that is like that, be happy. And trust me, the grass ain't greener for being a single man with 100 different women. Because if you dating 100 different women, you got 100 different personalities of different women, and you don't know half of them could be. Some women just don't take rejection too well. Some women get vengeance and can set you up and say that you beat her, you smack her, and next thing you know, you got to deal with some dude ready to shoot you and kill you. And there's some men that went to the grave because of stuff like that. So you really have to be careful what type of woman you really get with, because you just, as a man, you just don't know. And because right now, we live in an era right now, men, they're gunning for men. Any men who represent strong masculinity, alpha heterosexual male, they're gunning for him right now. They are. They just really going after the alpha, straight, strong type of man. He's all man. And it seems like you got these women that's trying to compete. And even if they can't get to you, it's like they manipulate you. And it's like it's always been around since the history of time that women have done this. And so some women have just, it's scandalous. So whenever you picking a woman to be your girlfriend, to later on be your wife, and you're courting her and everything, man, just be careful. Just don't fall for the looks all the time. I mean, really get to know a person before you go lay down and choose to take them to the bedroom. See where the head is at, because you just never know. And especially whatever you do, don't get them when they're drunk or they high, because oh my goodness, he raped me, and well, you took advantage of her because she was liberated, and you knew that she wasn't, and so that can go against you too. So you got all this stuff riding against you as a male. And this is probably what happened with the situation up recently at Ohio State. These young men have to be careful, man. You know, and if there's a man out there that's listening to me, so what I'm saying, listen, what I'm telling you, some men, older men, they need to sit down, tell the young men this was going on right now, because and to keep them out of prison, to keep them out of the grave, and that's just keeping it real. That's just right now, because that's what it is, and you have to really be careful who you associate with and who you can get with. And if you're courting somebody, you're dating somebody, that's why you have some people say just hold off before you take someone to the bedroom, because you really don't. You don't know this person. You don't know where their mind is at. You don't know they've been abused. You got women out here that's been abused and hurt, and so they just got this hate man mentality that they're gonna take down one man. And it could be. It's not always the men that who did the dirt. It be the good men that don't even do the dirt. It be the men that is just they're good hearted, but they get caught up being the bad man. And you could be one of the good men, but you got some women like that out here. You just have to be very, very visual about this. And one of the things, another thing, if you have women in your family, take around your mom, your sister, your best friend, let her feed her out before you take her to the bedroom. And usually the women that love you in your life will give you a good heads up what type of woman this woman is. Is she some psychotic women? And usually the women in your family will let you know, or a good friend is a female friend. And they like, I ain't feeling her, because women know women. And there's women out there that know that there's some women that do some scandalous stuff like that just to get what they want. And this is the truth. They know how to dress the part, talk the part, flirt the part, and play the part. It's because sometimes even women in our family know that as men, we just get so caught up in the pornography, or we paint this fantasy in our mind. But the reality part of it is that if you're going to continue a relationship with this person, the real side is going to come up out of them sooner or later. All what beauty, what is good on the outside ain't what gold on the inside. I mean, you might meet a woman that is beautiful and wow, she got the nice shape and nice butt, and she could be smart as a witch, but she may not be your type of woman that, well, how can I say you would want to bring her as a wife? Some women are not wife material. They unfortunately in the world they want nice stand material, and them the ones you have to be careful with, because they don't, that's what it is. It's still going on right now, and so it's just not even, it's not worth it. So, black men in 2020, you have to be careful, man. You really have to be careful out here. Because they're gunning for you. The justice system is gunning for you. Even though it's true. I heard men say that you are the desired man, but in America, you're the most hated man. When it comes to, they might like you on the football field or on a rap and thing like that, but when you mess up or make a mistake, it's a whole different ball game. It really is. It really, really is. And just that if you're young black man, listen to me. Just be careful who you date, who you getting with, out here, and who you associate with, and just be aware. And whatever you do, if she's drinking and she's high, and you feel she's inebriated, don't force it. Even though you could be horny as I don't know what, because we all human. But hey, man, one mistake can cost you your life. So I'd rather you get with the woman that's silver-minded than one is inebriated, because you can damage yourself. You can damage your reputation, and then it's look at the justice system, and I'm not taking away that other men. There might be some other men that have done time, but when it came to the justice system, when it comes to the crime, and it comes to the penalty, it is more severe. And you already know, you already seen that with athletes and with actors to athletes, and even with the situation with what happened with the elder Bill Cosby, and how the way these women, and this is another thing, how they set this up, that okay, let's, if did he have an affair outside his marriage? Maybe. But do you think, and I want you to think about this, in doing the historically way how America is about, and someone need to be truthfully honest out there, between interracial relationship. And even if you were a celebrity, during the time in his younger years, even just to see that alone. Now, some people may say that's okay, they're ignored, but to be a black male and drug and rape 40 women, and out of the 20 to 40 women, and the 3 women were black and 20 was white. Did that even sound even right to you? Then they claim that he's power. There's not a black man with money in this country that have much as power. And I don't care what position he has, he don't have no power in America. He doesn't have no power. He don't have the power like his white male counterparts do. That's a fact right there. Whether it's in politics, whether it's in being in any arena, no black man has that much power. He don't have that much power, and so that's literally it's a joke for anybody to even say that they even indicate something like that. But you just but it's just, that's a prime example of someone by being with associating with a lot of people. Again, it happened even with Chris Brown. It was a situation because they used something because of something that him and Rihanna got into it. It was a big thing. And I mean, it was a sad situation. She had a bruise on her face. We don't know the whole story what happened, but it's a pattern. And then you have someone like Oprah Winfrey and Gayle out there, just capitalizing on it. And even though when Chris Brown did the time, he apologized. He's remorseful. He said he was sorry. They still attacked, and then unfortunately, the people around him that he was associated with them, another female got to his house, tried to take some stuff up out of him, and then she called and saying she was doing the wrong thing by taking something out of his house. Again, it makes him like he's the bad guy. This is Chris Brown. The singer and everything. Then it was another situation. And then, like anybody agree with it, if someone doing something wrong, they should be held accountable for it. If someone raped somebody, yeah, they should be held accountable. If someone holds someone's hostage or molesting somebody or harming somebody physically or gunpoint, yeah, they should done regardless of color or creed. They should be held accountable. But don't be so selective about how you dish out the punishment. And that's what the whole media thing was about. It was not even evenly balanced as far as men. And right now, this is why a lot of people was the backlash about Kobe, because it's like, okay, now, but you have Harvey Weinstein and you have Kevin Spacey, and then you have Matt Lauer, and then you have Charlie Rose, and then but the same people are coming at them with the same questions. No one's coming around their friends and family doing this, in which this allegation, in which there's some people believing that even Harvey Weinstein gonna get acquitted, but Bill Cosby didn't get acquitted for what he did. But now they're trying to make, what I'm saying? It's a double standard out here. And I guess the only one that really with the president was Epstein. That was about it. And that was because of something because of for other stuff, probably for fraud, tax fraud and everything. But most of the time, most white males are not going to do time. They're going to get them out with some technicality, and they can bring up some kind of disclosure that they have some kind of mental illness going on, or come up with drum up with some stuff and get them out just like that. But with the black male, it's like, no, put him in the cage like an animal. He's an animal. We don't let him out. We don't want him being a setting example. And people in the system, in the justice system, see life like that. And it's been historically, it has been like that when it comes to something like that. And it was a case not too long ago where a woman was having an affair with a man, and it was a man that was on death row. It was on Dr. Phil's show, and come to find out that her husband, who was Caucasian, he was a Caucasian man. She had an affair with the black man, and the woman ended up dying, and they pinned it on the black man, and he was sitting on death row. So but she chose to have an affair with this black man on her with this white man. This has happened, but the black man went on death row. This case after case, and so it that's just one of the many examples. And what's another example? The thing what happened with Michael Jackson, even though it wasn't women, but it was people that put around that allegedly that he molested some kids. Now, it was 3 or 4 different stories that he molested these kids. First they said that they did it. Then they said, well, how? Then they didn't do it. Now they turn around and make a movie after the man is gone and died. And what they want to get money up out of it. All that's what they want to do. Now it's about getting money up out of it. Well-known people. And that's another thing. If you're sweating, whether you're black or you're white, you please be careful because some people just even bump somebody in the club, bumping into somebody, they're ready to sue you. I mean, just some people are just scandalous. I mean, and so you have to be very careful if you're athlete, actor, anybody in that prominent position. They have to really be careful who they associate with. And some people might take it personal that they might not get too closer, but you can't really get too close to even some people that's your fans because you never know. You end up like one of these celebrities out here with your name tarnished, and people gonna be saying, yeah, you deserve to die, whatever, and be wishing death on you, and don't even give you the benefit of the fact that you was found innocent in the court of law, that you had a good attorney that found you innocent, put up the fight, had the evidence, showed that this person didn't do it, and they still convicted him. So, and then it's like, man, and then you have to even question. Some people have a deep prejudice and a deep hatred towards black men. They have it's deep, and right now, a lot of people, younger people, don't understand this. This stuff has been going on for generation after generation. It's a spirit. It's in the land. Then when it comes to, you figure that we would be past it. With some people in some places, they may be past. Some people, it don't apply to everybody on both sides. But we have to address it that race does matter. Race really does matter in this country. Color does matter. It don't matter. It seems like we had a sporting event. You see some kind of racism popping up in some form or fashion, and it weaves and it hides. Even when you talk about the players, and you hear someone make some comment once in a while. I mean, it's just crazy, and it's the truth. I mean, you see it, and whether it's on regular television or you could go on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Now, truth is being exposed, or you can experience something of your own in some type of form or fashion. And it's right now. So that's what I wanted to get off my chest. I'm sorry that I'm rambling this on, but it's just that I just care about to get this video out. That hopefully a young black man out there would see this and understand and see what's going on and what's really going on right now, and may not understand fully what's going on. And said there's some people that who have racism isn't who self racism is trying to weave itself, but the same spirit that you've seen back in the time of Rosewood, the same on Tulsa, Oklahoma to Rosewood in Florida, it's the same type of spirit. It disguises as the same type of character. They really don't want to see you with this woman, and that's the truth. They say, well, oh, there you have some. Oh, I don't see. No, I don't think. Oh, it's all good. It's all. We all having sex, and hey, look at hey, I like you like that black woman. I like that black. I like that white. I like that white woman. Women are women. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now there, but when it comes to someone who's connected to them, when it comes to somebody who's related to them, then it's all hands off right there. It's all hands off. Like yeah, we all good, and we could, maybe we go in the tough part of the world, it's all good. But here in the United States, the 3 or 4 Western nations, race still matters. It still matters. And no matter if you're on the East Coast, the West Coast, down south, up north, it don't matter. Even if you're probably going into Canada, it don't matter. People see psychologically, they see race. They can't. And it seems like when it comes to the black male, even though they love the way the black male can rap a song up, can dance and entertain, and he can dance and he can do all these things. They can rap, and they'll build up stereotypes and everything, but they can't. But they at the same time they're trying to destroy him. At the same freaking time, they can love you one minute, and and one minute they want to put you and punch you and kill you the next. And this is the truth with some people. And the ones who say that they don't are not, and the worst ones that say that they're really not racist, you see it come out of them is in the jealousy. You can just listen to some people long enough and you'll pick it up. You'll pick what little things that they say up, just like that. I mean, you just got to be careful. Bottom line is you have to be very careful who is your friend, who your enemy is. And again, I can't stress that enough. Just be glad, keep a steady woman in your life. It's all with glamour, dating different women and going around and trying to sleep with all the different women. It's not cool right now, man. It's not cool because you just don't know where some women psychologically soon you get hot in the bar, that after you come out of the bar or come out of the restaurant or come out of the club, whatever, you don't know what's going to happen, and it's your word against her word, and here's someone called the police, and now maybe you might get an officer that might be justified, but you might get an officer that's really, if you get one as a bigot, oh, you are really in trouble. You get in front of a judge or lawyer, he's a bigot, you really in trouble. And there are bigots among the most integrated places in America. They're bigots, they're racist, and they know how to they know how to hide. They know how to hide themselves among people. And when you call them out or whatever, it's like it's like it's a surprise. Like, no, not me. Oh yes, you're racist. We those who've been around, who've been experienced, it is sometimes it's not always the person with the Ku Klux Klan white nationalist on the back of their shirt, or someone who think it's a skinhead. Them ain't the type of people you got to worry about. At least you see where they're coming from. It's the same ones that sit there and smile in your face and get when you get pissed off, whether they drunk or whether on in their emotions, their true self come out. That's the truth. It's not always someone who is KKK or skinhead and say, okay, now we know that's a racist person right there. racism don't always come in. Racism always shows itself in different faces. And another thing, before I let it get to the minute hour, this thing with with the one thing with the England over in London, England, with what happened with Harry and Marilyn Marco, the young woman from here, from America. And all of a sudden they move out and kind of want to get away from the Queen and them. And let me tell you how I believe this. When that young man brought that woman home, and despite people can fall in love and everything, the elders was worried about their bloodline. The Queen of England worried about the bloodline. And see, Black people, even though they could be mixed and they can mix up their own with another race of people, particularly with a family like that, it's all about legacy and bloodline. And how did I know this? Because they didn't even put them in even in the family photo. They didn't even put them in the family photo, and the news kind of squashed that too. So they didn't even want. And even though that her father is white and her mother is Black, and the baby is Harry, and the baby most likely is going to be white by definition next to us, people still, but psychologically with the Queen is not like average people. The average, people like, no, I don't want nobody. It's a status in the family. Black people have always been the lower status. And this is why some people who are prejudiced don't want someone married Black in their family. Because, when they think about prejudice, they think about Black people coming from Africa. That's the first thing they think. And they think that, the stereotype of people now, well, anybody been to Africa knows it's not poor and bunch of people on outside with the animals. But it's the magnitude that they don't want to be. It's a class thing. It's a class. And I mentioned this probably a while before. It's a class. To some people, Black people are the lowest class. No matter if we good at sports, no matter if we good at celebrity, but the reality, the vast majority of people, it's about class, and that's what it's about. That's why it's okay for their son or daughter to be with someone especially if they're African origin, but it's okay. But if it's not a certain, it's crazy. But there's some people that do. But with the Queen in England, no, them type of people, no, they don't want nothing because they want to keep it in the bloodline. They want to keep their blood pure. And pure. No Negro, no Native or Indigenous in their blood. They want it WASP, what they call WASP or White Aryan, whatever. That's what they want. And they kind of look, and there's people like that in England, America, and other places that feel the same way. They just don't tell you, but that's what they do. And it's the truth. Some people, they're not bold with it. They want to hide it and say, no, it's not like that. It's because of this. And then you get down to the nitty gritty because they don't want, it's almost like someone who has a drug and alcohol habit, but they don't want to admit that they have a drug and alcohol habit. But you see that they got a drug and alcohol habit. But that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. They really see color. And they see color, even though they friends might not see color, but some people see color. And when they see color, they see class, they see status, they see economic status. And other people look at African people of the different descent or looking descent the same way. They don't get those people. They're going to change up the whole atmosphere. Some people got this mindset. And they will never tell you something like that. They would never tell you, but that's what it really is. And so when they look, and thanks to TV and media and things like that, they paint the picture. So they believe the picture that they paint. And so they believe what they see. And it's like when you see black people going on TV or doing some criminal activity, being hypersensitive, hyperactive, they're like, I don't want my daughter want to be involved with something like that. That's the truth. That's the truth. And they will never want to admit something like that. And the people, and I'm talking about the people who got the inner prejudice. I'm not just talking about all people. I'm talking about those people that they be in self-denial until something like this come up, and then you really see it, and you sit around and they'll reveal themselves. Just sit back and hear people. Sooner or later, people, when they feel comfortable enough, people who are that they got the inner prejudice, they'll when you are a black person who you don't seem like you're not threatening, and you just go along, get along. The people with the inner prejudice will let themselves go. They'll come off cold just like that, and you will see where they really coming from, and they'll be denying, hiding it, and then it'd be funny because when their friends find out, like, I didn't really think that he or she felt that way. Yeah, they've been feeling that way. Maybe you never had a conversation because the opposite of the people were never in the equation. Because most people be around most people, most black people around most black people, most white people around most white people, 90% of the time. So, they just say like it's nothing, and I have been around people where they slipped up and said something about black people right in my presence. That's how I know these things, that there's some people that get that. And the ones that, it's not the people that reflect that prejudice out that bother me. It's the people that reserve that prejudice within, and then they try to hide it and they try to swoop it on in because they don't want to be made to look like the bad person. But it's going to come out. Every devil has to show his face. That's one thing I learned. Every devil have to show his face sooner or later. And some people who have that type of prejudice, be careful. And if you involve your young men and you involve with a family in this country or anywhere who have that kind of racism, watch it. Be careful. Be very careful, because people like that are dangerous. And I know from and the reason why, not only that I've seen it, I know from personal experiences. I've dated females who that their family didn't approve of black men going with their white daughter, niece, nephew, niece, or mother, or whatever. They made it known, and I'm gonna tell you what they do, how they will not let you, they can't stand, they won't give you no eye contact. They'd be like, they just give you that look like, oh, disgust. I can't believe you with this person. And they do that. I mean, they will ignore you, and that's another form of prejudice. They ignore you. They ain't always they gonna confront you. They just ignore you. And then when that person gone, then that person who is not in the present, they'll let that person know what they really think about it. And it's like, wow, they true, because they don't want to deal with that fire. Because some people feel comfortable saying something in front of their own people, and they don't have to worry about the people because the people that they have who don't look like them ain't gonna too many people gonna give them no backlash. That's why why they feel the way that they do. The people who have problem when it comes to something like that, when it comes to an interracial couple or a married couple or a dating couple, whatever, it's the truth. They ain't gonna sit there and say that. And God bless the ones who don't carry that spirit. But when you go into an environment full of, I hate to say this, full of white people, a town, I mean, I'm not more than 10 to 20. Trust me, it's going to show its face. It's going to show its face in some type of way. And maybe the first kind of people, they might be cool, but among that 20 or 30 people, somebody gonna find it like, oh, my son, my daughter better not ever bring one of these people home. I'm telling you. And they don't say it in your face. They know how to put on a face, a smile, and shake your hand and everything. And it don't matter if you are athlete, you could be college educated, you could be the most good black person and outstanding law abiding citizen, going houses, say 20 puppies and 20 children. It don't matter. There are gonna be people that are against you because you're black. It's a truth. It's just something that's in some people that have that inner hatred towards us as black men. That's true. That's just it's real talk. It's sad that there's some people that do, but you're going to see in some form or fashion. And even though you could be sit around at a sports bar or anything, but that racism is gonna come. It's gonna boil up to the top of the. So if you go in the vast majority of a place, watch what I'm talking. Someone's gonna be having that kind of spirit. Not everybody won't have it, but somebody will. I mean, I've seen so many times in my life, how the way some people feel, and they stay on code with it. They have their own code, everything with it, and so I I can tell you story after story, but I don't want to bore anybody, and I remember, throughout my life, I'm in my 50s now, but just I remember one time I'll give you a short story. I was going away at college. I was like a lot of these young men, 21, 22 years old, and I was going away to school down here in southeastern Ohio, and I was the one of the only few black young men on this floor, and so and I get along with most of the guys, right? So I would go over to the gym and go different activity center and go. But so I met this one, pretty decent, attractive female, and we was just friends. We didn't even sleep together. We didn't do anything together. We didn't even sleep together. I mean, I wanted to make a move, but I didn't force myself to make a move on her because she told me she had a boyfriend, and I respected that. And he was a white dude. And she was white too. But when I come back to the room, man, they would talk and ask for me. They would get pissed as hell. They would heated. And they would and the jealousy start going out. Say, I know you giving her that big black dick and all. I'm like, no, dude, what are you talking about? We're just friends. Yeah, right. She got a freaking boyfriend. What the fuck? We're just friends. We were just friends. But these particular white males were jealous. They were just jealous for no apparent reason. Now, with some let me tell you what some black dudes. Some black dudes might not like seeing black female white men, but we like, man, that's kind of messed up. But hey, it is what it is. We're gonna go get another woman and go. But there are some white dudes, some, when they see that happen, attractive female, they kind of be joking around about it and kind of saying in the things about it. But in the end, it is what it is. Some people are jealous. Some people they're very very jealous of it, and that's what this prejudice this come from. It stirs up from jealousy. That's what prejudice basically is. People who have that assumption about other people is that they're prejudiced, and so that's what I've learned. But I just wanted to get online, just not in the past hour too long, but just be careful, young men, you young black men out there in 2020. Just be careful that the justice system is not the same for you. If you commit a crime, and I know your buddies on a football team, basketball team, baseball team, college, I understand that. But we in the generations that the elder generations keep the racism and prejudice around, even in the in this 21st century, and it will come out directly in a way as of politics, and they know how to hide it, and they know how to paint the picture. So I would encourage you to be careful what type of woman you date, what type of places you go, and who you meet friends with. And that's with anybody. You just be careful, man. You know, and just if you go out to the bars and go out to the clubs, you know, just be careful. And if you in some kind of sport, listen to your coaches. Listen to the eldermen. Listen to the men that made the same mistake. Watch the same men that have been set up, that have been lied upon. It's documentaries about this on YouTube and other places that they were set up. Listen to your mother, your father, or your younger brother that will tell you, watch yourself, because you just never know. If they get that kind of vibe, listen to them. Don't get all cocky thinking that you know. Oh, it's not like that, because you don't know people. You don't know. And some people can come off nice and friendly, but you know, they could be setting you up to kill you. And so that's why I just want to make this video. And I pray that this video would hope that it'll touch some young men out there that will hear what I'm saying. The justice system, when you get locked up with you and your buddies, is different. And it could be your buddy and your white buddy. Y'all can do the same thing, but you're gonna get longer time, because it's going to be judge that's going to be biased, and he's not going to look at the crime equally. That's the truth. The police, it might be a police officer, might not look at you equally. And even though we have community policing and we're trying to be sensitivity, people carry biases. They carry biases on the job. They carry biases in their law. There are people going to be biased. There are some going to be biased against you. So I pray that you get this message, that someone would get this message out there to somebody, that please be careful in 2020. And, you know, your young brother or middle-aged brother or older brother, be careful, man. These are the times we live in. Some times they're coming at. It's a war on us. It literally is a war. It's a war on our. They want to slaughter. They want to keep some. They want to cage and rest the others. And that's what it means, setting you up in some type of way. And you could have been doing anything wrong, but there's some people out there to do that. And I just want to encourage you, just, you know, stay in your studies. If you go to school, go high school, going to college, listen to your parents, listen to your uncles, your older brothers, your friends. You know, be careful with the women you date. Please be careful with the women you date. If she get kind of possessive or act crazy, she want to fight, get one of those women that want to fight all the time, man, don't deal with that kind of woman, because you put your hands on her, boom, you could respond or even restrain her in some type of way. You could be going to jail. You could be going to prison. That's another thing too. So I hope that, that take heed, be aware in 2020, because right now, that's what they're trying to fill up the prisons again, is us. They're trying to put the prisons, and so they got to find technical ways to do it. And it by any means necessary, longer sentences and everything. That's not just by the law. And now you start to see some people coming up out of prison because the crime is not even, or jail or something like that, or something can lead them to crossing their life or their freedom. And this is serious. So I hope that, anybody's listening out there, that heed the warning. And I hope that you have a good ear, and just be careful out there, because you see what happened to the celebrities, you see what happened to other men around you, and you might not say it won't happen to me, but the way things going, you just never know. And just be careful out there, and just who you associate with, where you go to party at, where you go to hang out at, everything, because it's a war out here, and right now you're the target. And it's the truth. And they just trying to keep it quiet as it kept. But that's what it is. We're living in the end times. And that's what's going on. That's one of the things is in the end times is going on. So I pray that you get this message, and I thank you for anybody that's out there that would hear and listen to lessons. Until next time, you take care out there. God bless. Yep, I'm done.